Good morning.
Good morning.
Please sit down. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, highly respected Mr. Zwack, or dear guest, we are highly honored by your visit. As the headmaster of our institution, I welcome you in our school. Your visit is outstanding moment in our interesting people, interesting meetings series. As you can see, we are continuously interested in the life and the work of Zwack Unicum Share Company. With the help of the mass media and internet, we are up to date as far as your business affairs and concerned. I would like to express our pleasure and the good fortune of your obtained results, your success. I apologize for adding my greetings words, but unfortunately, among the 49 languages I speak fluently only German. And now I would like to commission my colleague, Mr. László Tamási, to continue our meeting. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And dear guests, dear students, dear representatives of the media, of the cooperatives, my principal asked me to give a welcome speech. So last night I prepared a half an hour long welcome speech, but okay, I'm not going to read it out to this moment, because I know that you are very much interested in Mr. Zwack, much more than interested in me. It's a very special moment in our interesting people, interesting meeting series, because this is the first time that it is in English. So that's why we invited our English-speaking students to be here and to ask questions, if it's possible, I hope. So, but our students also prepared a short presentation for you, and I would like to ask my colleague and the students to start this short presentation. It's going to be...
Thank you very much. It's over here or where?
Yeah, it's going to go here.
Okay.
First listen to Zwack swing law, which is a language
Waiting for somebody to call them.
Sweet chariot. bank, which is a very absolute round. Yes, Monica?
Mrs. Besser, there's a gentleman to see you, Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore, bring him in, please.
Mr. Moore, come with me, please. Mr. Moore.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Moore, the situation is like this. Your account is in the red.
Pardon?
In the red.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Your account is in the red, overdrawn.
Overdrawn? I've never heard that word before.
It's very simple. It means that you've taken out more money than you've put in.
Thank you very much.
I don't think you quite understand this. It means that you've put in less money in the bank than is taken out. Your account is £2. Yes, £2 overdrawn.
£200 already.
Yes.
Oh, that's nothing. Don't worry. I can put that right immediately. I write a check.
Mr. Moore, if you write the check, you will be overcome more. Mr. Moore.
I beg your pardon.
More, Mr. Moore. M-O-R-E, Mr. Moore.
No. No more. With double O. M-O-O-R-E.
Mr. Moore, I think you don't quite understand the situation.
Nobody move.
Mr. Moore, if you write me a check for £200, you will be overdrawn.
I said, nobody move.
Can I help you?
It's much better. You, me, yes. Read this.
2 pounds of tomatoes, 6 eggs, and a packet of chocolate biscuits.
No. The other side.
Sorry. Give me all your honey, or I'll kiss you.
Not honey. Money.
Oh, well, sorry. Give me all your money, or I'll kiss you.
Not kiss. Kill.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me, I think it's for you, Mrs. Bassett.
Give me all your money or I'll kill you. I see. Could you please sit down over there, please?
Sit down.
Yes, I'm quite busy at the moment. Could you please sit down over there? Well, Mr. Moore, your account is in red. So, how much do you earn?
I earn £35 a week.
35.
Excuse me.
Just a moment. Thank you. So you earn £35 a week. And
Yeah.
how much do you spend?
I spend £7 a week.
1 moment. So you spend £7 a week.
Yeah.
Twice as much as you earn.
Yes,
How much do you
I spend half. No, I earn half as much as I spend.
But how do you do it?
It's easy. I use my checkbook.
Exactly.
Excuse me. I make £2,000 a week.
£2,000 a week. And how much do you spend?
£1,000 a week.
So you save £1,000 a week.
Yes.
Would you like to sit here?
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Moore, could you please sit over there? You save £1,000 a week.
Yes.
Tell me, where do you keep this money?
Here, in this bag.
Really? Would you like to open an account? You can?
Yes.
Then I will get the necessary papers and back them on.
Okay. Certainly. Excuse me, sir. You make 2,000 pounds a week? Yes. How do you do it? I rob banks. So you rob banks and steal the money. How do you do it? Take a gun. Oh, I haven't got a gun. Here is mine. Oh, be careful. So, you take a gun and a note. No. Yes. Oh. That's nice. Like 2 pounds of tomatoes, 6 eggs, and a packet of chocolate biscuits. No, the others. No. Give me all your honey, or I kiss you. Money and kill. Oh, yes. Is that all? No. So, you take the note and the gun. Go to the bank and put this note on the bank manager's desk. Oh, I see.
Oh yes, Mr. Steve.
Give me all your money, or I kill you.
Take this back.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was easy.
Mr. Moore, your account is still 200 pounds.
Oh, yes. Come on, come on. 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 100 pounds, and 200 pounds. That's it.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So, still, your account is...
Just a minute. I think something's gone wrong. Hey, you! Dr. Zwack, was ist da nun? Hey, you, come back! Bring back my money and mine! Come!
Monica. Would you bring me some coffee? Some strong black? Oh, certainly. Thank you very much.
First, I would like to ask Mr. Zwack to give his presentation.
I just interrupt and ask a question. Well, I feel that I'm a young old friend in this school because I've been invited here by a director right here. How many years now? I think it's about 30 years. And I always come home and I always get lovely flowers when I have to thank you very much for these nice flowers. And it's really, I think, heartwarming to see what you're doing in the school, because I can only tell you one thing, that when I was a young boy, left Hungary, that was in 1948, when the communists came in and they took away the factory and everything, and we had to escape. I then went to America, and had I not learned English as a small boy at home, I had in those days you still had what you call nannies, sort of old ladies who stayed at home and they taught you at home. And had I not spoken English when I came to America, my whole life would have changed, because people always value you much more if they can communicate with you in the same language. It's today absolutely essential. And I think what is amazing in this country is that I always am constantly amazed of how well young people today speak English. We have at Zwack in our marketing department 15 young men and women. The oldest are 35, 36, and all of them speak fluent English, but fluent English without an accent. And every one of them I ask, how long did you spend outside of Hungary, in America or in England? And not one of them ever left Hungary. They all learned English in school, in Hungarian high schools. And this is something for me incredible, and I often talk to my wife about this. This also proves, I think, the great level of Hungarian education, the Hungarian educational system, and I think it's essential for the survival of this country, and you, because you are the future, and I really genuinely mean this, that not only do you speak English, that's one thing, but the other thing, which also helped me a great deal in life, that you have to put yourself into the head of the other person, which means that you have to always think, what is the other person thinking about? Because if you don't know what the other person is thinking about, then you're going to be in trouble. And this is in your personal life, it's in your business life, it's in politics, whatever. In my case, for example, when we have business partners coming in and we have a meeting, my first thought inside of me is always, what is he thinking about? Why is he here? What does he want from me? So I've developed let's call it this way, a technique in all these years, that whenever I meet somebody, I always ask questions. And my question always is, what do you think? What is your opinion? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me when I say something? And this way, you automatically open a discussion. And two words I never use, or at least I try very seldom to use it. And also I tell my colleagues in Zwack, when people say, I think, my opinion is, you know what, nobody cares what you think. And nobody cares what your opinion is. Because everybody is only concerned about what they think and what their opinion is. And the moment you can pass that wall of communication, as we put it that way, you have won the battle, you won the war. So I don't know if you understood all what I'm trying to say. So all of you are, I think, especially in this school, you're going to go into, I always call this public life, really, because not only politics is public life, but your private life is public life, your business life is public life. And so if you continue, if you start in your life always asking questions when you meet somebody, because people love to be heard. Because everybody is somewhere inside his brain. And the moment you try to bring them out of themselves, they're very happy and they're very pleased that you are interested in them, and that you're not only interested in yourself. And in business negotiations, for example, again, when we have people coming in to see us, I often talk about our weaknesses. I think it's always very bad when somebody who is a businessman says, we are the best, we are the greatest, we are faultless. There's no such thing. Everybody has weaknesses, everybody has faults, be that a person or be that a business. So the moment you admit, and I do this often, I say my company's weaknesses in many ways are this, and that. And this way I create confidence in the person I'm talking. And all of a sudden you have a dialogue. We are on even scale. Because basically, you know, nobody likes to buy. And we are all salesmen. I think everybody is selling something. President Clinton is selling America. I'm selling South America. You are selling yourselves. You are selling what's inside of you. You are selling what in your career, what you're going to be. Everybody is selling. And nobody nobody likes to buy. I know when somebody comes to me and is selling something, my first reaction is no. You know? So this is why it is so very important to establish a relationship of confidentiality with the partner you are in contact with. These are just a few thoughts, which I in Hungarian always say, and we shouldn't speak Hungarian here, a más fejével való gondolkodás. And I've seen this a lot, for example, in politics, when Hungarian delegations, and now everybody is speaking about the European Union, and how important the European Union is, how important it is to think, not only as a Hungarian, but to think also as a European. And I think all of us have to become citizens of the world. It's not good enough to be Hungarian citizens. While we are good Hungarian citizens, we cannot be good Hungarian citizens if we are also not citizens outside of Hungary. And I've seen innumerable examples when Hungarian delegations and politicians went to Brussels, to the European Union headquarters, and said, we want this, our interest is that. And one case was, I think, dramatically awful, when one Hungarian politician quite recently went to Brussels and said, in 1956, this is what we did for you. Now, what are you going to do for us? And this really happened, and this is a leading politician whose name you read every day in the newspaper. So this, you see, this cannot happen, and this should not happen. And this is why it is so important that in your studying and learning English here, you develop also in English, which you probably have in Hungarian already, this concept of always think of that you're not only Hungarian, but you're also representing Hungary as a part of the European community. It's the first time that we are now Europeans. In the sense, a lot of people are criticizing this country, NATO, and I don't think we have to talk about Kosovo. It's a terrible situation. But I would be much more afraid of Kosovo if we would not be members of NATO today. And I think us joining NATO just before this whole Kosovo situation started, I lost my thought. Yes, was not only a military. Hello, Kati. Kati is a very, very dear young friend with whom we worked when I was still in Parliament for 4 years, and we are still working together now that I'm out of Parliament. And if you think of NATO, NATO is very important also for Hungary's economical future, because it gives foreign investors the guarantee that this country is finally on the side of the West, and that their investments in this country are secure. So this is why it is very unhealthy. One should criticize. I mean, I think in democracy, criticism is vital. It's very important. But one has to be, one shouldn't be emotional about things, but one should criticize in a fair judgment. Well, I got into politics, which I didn't want to get into. At this point, I think, I don't so much want to talk about Zwack because I think I'm very proud to say that it is one of the best performing companies today in Hungary. We paid 60% dividend. Thank you very much. 60% dividend at our latest assembly meeting, which we had in April. And I think it was the first time in my life that we had about 500 people who were actionnaires of our company, who stood up and applauded the management when we announced a 60% dividend. So it's all I can tell about the company, it's an old company. We were founded in 1840, but Unicum, which is our #1 brand, is sort of a national drink in Hungary, was invented in 1790, so it's over 209 years old today. And I'm now the 6th generation of this always family-owned company. And I was very lucky in 1987 when I came home. We're going to celebrate now, on July 9th, our 10th anniversary of our homecoming, because in 1989 we signed a joint venture the day when President Bush came for the first time as an official American president to Hungary. So it's 10 years, in 89, that we formed a joint venture with the Hungarian state, who nationalized us in 1948. So it's really a quite unusual story in this sense. And I was very lucky, what I'm saying, when I came back, because basically I inherited business. It's nothing that I created. And I'm always amazed, and in a way I envy these Hungarian entrepreneurs, vállalkozók, who are able today to create a business of their own, which is nearly impossible. Well, now it is getting a little bit better, because if you think that only about 5 years ago, inflation was around 30% in this country. When you went to the bank and wanted to get a loan, money cost 35%, and you still couldn't get it. And I always wondered how people can start a business under these conditions. And I think this is also one of the reasons why Westerners just don't understand this sort of thing. I spend a lot of time in Italy, where people on the street smile, they are happy, and people coming to Budapest, I have many American friends, or English, or Italian friends, and they always say, I don't understand why people don't smile. And I try to explain to them, there's nothing to smile about. When you have 3 jobs a day, and you try to survive, you try to keep the family alive, and you wake up every morning, and there's nothing worse than to get up in the morning when you have financial problems. And I, as a refugee, can tell you I had the same, so I know what I'm talking about. It is an awful stress to live today for your parents, most of them, to keep you and to keep the family and to keep the business going. This is why I think you don't see so many smiling people on the streets. I think it's better in the country. I think the country, cities are somehow freer. Budapest is a jungle. And this is one of the reasons I'm always so happy to be in Kecskemét. And what ties me to Kecskemét is that my family had a small Barackspálinka distillery in Izsák. And we sold that Barackspálinka distillery, and we bought in 1991 or 91, we bought in Kecskemét the old plant, which was owned by the company who took everything away from us, called Buli, Budapesti Liquidatory Vállalat. And we bought that company, and we transformed this company into the most modern European flute distilling company. And we are very proud that this is in Kecskemét. And I invite really all of you who are interested to come and visit us, because it is really something not only very well done, but we are also very proud to have won last year the European Union prize in, my God, I lost the English word, who can tell me in English? Környezetvédelem. Environment. Thank you very much. Thank you. So we won this first prize, regional prize in environmental efficiency, and this makes me double as that. So basically speaking, I don't want to talk too much, because I think we should have, and I would be very curious how you speak English, and don't be afraid to answer questions, because I usually see that when we have talks like this, I always love to have a dialogue. And the first question is always very, very difficult. Everybody's afraid to put their hands on and ask the question. So who is somebody super brave and ask me an English question? And then that will be much easier. You should be super brave, because you're very brave with the bank. With the bank robber. English. Yeah, my first wife is American. I'm twice married. Yeah. No, my first wife is not. No. The first wife is far away. My first wife is American. I tell you about it, okay? And I will always say the good things, you know. She's a brilliant woman, and I met her in 1953. And she was going to Columbia University. You might have all heard in New York City. Columbia is one of the really great American universities. She is an American girl, and she studied Russian, because Columbia University has a very well-known Russian faculty. So at the age when she got married, very young, she spoke fluent Russian. And now after divorce, she still speaks fluent Russian. And her first teacher, who was at that time only a Russian teacher, was called Zbigniew Brzezinski, who later became Secretary of State. I think it was under Carter, President Carter, and who I later became, and I met him those days, and he used to come to our house, we lived in New York, for lunch, for coffee, because he was teaching my wife. So we became friends, and when I became ambassador in Washington in 1991, I called him up, and he still remembers my wife, not me. And that's how we several times met, and we are still very good friends today. And I have 5 children from my first wife. What?
If you are friends, why did you say that you're happy that she's...
No. Brzezinski is a friend. So, you know, one always says that of course the aim and and this is also something I hope will not happen to you, you know. But when you divorce, one always should try to stay friends. It's the same thing, I think, when you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, and things don't work out and you break up. Then it's always, of course, the first aim is to stay friends, but it's very difficult.
Yes.
It's very difficult, you know. We are now, with my first wife, I wouldn't say friends, but we are in good contact. And I have 5 children from my first wife. And maybe I'll tell you an interesting story that my eldest son, who is called Peter, he is now a colonel in the US Army, working in the Pentagon, and he is directly working under the Joint Chief of Staff, which is basically colonel. And he was in charge at the age of 40 now in coordinating the whole Hungarian, Polish, and Czech joining NATO. So it's incredible for me. I'm a Hungarian with an American son, and there were some very, very funny stories because when I became ambassador to Washington, I used to be an American citizen, and I had to give up my American citizenship, and I retained my Hungarian citizenship, which I never lost as an immigrant. I thought that when I went to America, I automatically lost my Hungarian citizenship. And when in 1991 I went to the police and said, what do I have to do to get back my Hungarian citizenship, they found in the computer my name and said, you are a Hungarian citizen. And in half an hour I had a Hungarian passport. And you only lose your citizenship if it is taken away from you by some act of crime or whatever it is. And anyhow, when I became ambassador, the foreign minister was Mr. Jasinski. And he called me one day, and I saw that he was very, very embarrassed. And he said, well, I'd like to discuss something personal with you. I couldn't imagine what he wanted. And he said, well, it's about your son. And then it dawned on me, you know, well, and I let him a little bit, I let him suffer a little bit. I said, well, what about my son? He said, well, your son is an American Army officer. I said, so. Well, he said, well, don't you find it's funny that you are now a Hungarian ambassador and your son is the US Army officer? I said, well, I don't think it's funny at all. It's a fact of life. So anyhow, there was no problem. But I was so many, many years worried about my son's career, because the Pentagon is very, very tough. And he was at that time working in a military intelligence unit to have a non-American father, especially Hungary in the old days being a socialist country. I thought that my son will have problems in his career, but fortunately it didn't happen. He's now going for 2 years to Korea as a battalion commander. And the battalion commander means that they have 1,000 men under him, and Korea is still a very important country for America today, considering North and South Korea is very important. And then I have a second wife, who I'm very happily married, and she's English, and she's called Anne. Here they only call her Anna. And I have 2 children born from Anne. One of them is called Sándor, and he's called Sándor, and is now in London, studying in London. And I have a daughter called everybody calls her Pinky. Yeah, and Pinky is, they were both born in Florence, in Tuscany, in Italy. And she's going to the University of Florence and studying political science. And both of them, when I came to Hungary in 1987, 88, studied 1 year in Budapest. She went to the Radnóti Gymnasium in Budapest, where in 1 year she learned fluent Hungarian, and she still speaks today fluent Hungarian. But in 1 year. Yeah, 1 year, and you see, to learn languages, you have to be very young, your age. This is where you can learn language by instinct. And Sándor went to a school, which was the first experimental school in Hungary, and it opened 3 years ago in Budapest. There was a university called Western Maryland. They are in Baltimore, and they have a 2-year Hungarian course, and their call is to your attention. And after 2 years, they take you to America. So he learned, he was in Hungary 2 years. The university is English speaking, but it's for Hungarian students too. And after 2 years, he went to Baltimore, and he got his master's degree, not master's, his bachelor's degree last year. And so having 2 years in Budapest, he also speaks very good Hungarian. And the funny thing was that when they were 2 years in America, there were 10 boys and girls who came out from Budapest with him to Baltimore. And it was a big, they called it the Hungarian mafia. they were always together, you know. And well, I hope that he will, not too far, come to Budapest and work with us at Zwack Péter. But first I want him to get his training outside. And I want him, he's now working at a wine importing company in London, and he's lifting cases in the warehouse. He called me 2 days ago and said, I just lifted 400 cases all the work. But that's the way you should start. Okay. Yes.
Question. And at home, do you speak Hungarian to your children or to your wife?
No, unfortunately not, because you see, my wife is learning Hungarian. Yes, she's learning. She can, well, Kati knows. She can make herself understood. So I always say they can't sell you on the street. But now we speak when we argue, when we fight, which is a lot. You know? We speak Italian because Italian is a very passionate Latin language, and you can fight much better in Italian than when we have a normal relationship, which we also have. You know? We speak English. And she's, by the way, she's now writing a book in English about Budapest. And it's being published in October. And it is about very, very unusual shops and things to see in Budapest for tourists. It's not the usual travel guide when you have all the hotels and all the restaurants. But it's all these little unusual things. For example, for a man, if your zip breaks, you don't know where to go. So here these tourists will know that in Budapest there are 2 shops. You can have the zip mended immediately. This sort of thing, you know. And she lives in Italy. We have a house there in Tuscany. And since I'm here all the time, because of the business and still in politics also, she comes and goes. She spends about 6 or 7 months here and the rest she spends in Italy. I always say, it's a very good marriage. When we don't see each other too often. It's not too early. I'm kidding. Yeah.
What else, how did the idea come from to produce vodka, like vodka?
Good question. Well, vodka is today generally in the world, as we call it, the liquor business, the liquor market is one of the biggest categories of drinks. In America, you call vodka or gin, they call it the white goods. White being the color is white, and goods, G-O-O-D-S, goods, family. And we didn't have a vodka on the Hungarian market, so we decided to make a vodka here, and we did not know how to call it. And we made a concorso, this is in Italian. Now there's a word in English I can't remember. Maybe you can help me again, people. Yeah, not quite, but maybe I'll get to it. It's similar. Yeah. It's similar to Grant. With our marketing people, I mentioned to you we have 15 people, and we give them a premium for who invents the best name. And one of them, a girl, that actually looks like a little bit, she's very smart, came up with vodka. Zwack. And we exported millions of bottles of this vodka to Russia, but then the Russian market got closed because it used to be all mafia. And in Russia too, about 3 years ago, they entered what they call the excise tax stamp. So when that happened, then the Russian market closed. So we are selling vodka in Hungary. Not too bad. And vodka is nothing else, as you know. It is grain alcohol spirit, yes, which is filtered over charcoal, senna, gas to filter it. And the difference is, and a lot of it is humbug, you can say in English too. Once filtered, twice filtered, 3 times filtered.
And was it your idea to put hologram on it?
This, quite frankly, I forget. I don't know. It was against somebody in the marketing. By the way, we have a marketing director, a young lady called Andrea. She's also a lady. And the only reason I mention this is that we are not a feminist company. By feminist, I mean I don't like feminists. Yeah. So we are very happy, and we want women to be very, very active in our country. But we don't like feminism. You know what feminism is.
How often do you drink?
Well, I tell you one thing. I used to drink unicum every evening. And but since I also like wine very much, I drink about 2 glasses of wine in the evening, and I don't drink unicum in the evening unless I go out with some friends because it's too much, you know. But I drink either 2 glasses of wine and then no unicum, or I have no wine and then have a glass of unicum. And at lunch, I try not to drink at all, not because I'm a moralist. I love to drink, you know. But I think if you have too much at lunch in the afternoon, your mind isn't working as well.
It helps to drink a glass of wine or something.
Yes, a glass of wine, I really believe this also, you know, that a glass, even 2 glasses of wine, is very, very healthy. And I can also say that even though unicum is alcohol, and people say, well, alcohol is dangerous. That's not true. If you drink alcohol with a modest proportion, it's just as healthy. Especially in unicum, we have, as you know, more than 40 herbs. And unicum, if you drink it, 1 or 2 glasses,